Now, for our next problem, in this case, we have absolute value equals another absolute value. When this happens, you have to select one of the absolute values that you're going to set up, one as positive and also as a negative. Let's pick the one that is in simpler form, and that happens to be just x plus 7. In this case, we have more than one term. X is one term and 7 is another term. So we're going to pick this one, and this one is going to be separated into two cases, one as positive and one as negative. So our first case will be everything inside of this absolute value equals the positive of x plus 7. So I'm going to have 2x minus 5 equals, notice in this case we have more than one term, so let me write it with parentheses. So that means that is a positive of all of the x plus 7. My other setup will be everything inside the absolute value of here equals, now instead of the positive of this will be the negative of this. That means that every sign of here will be changed. That means a negative of that. And it is really important to write the parentheses because we have more than one term here. X is one and 7 is another one. That means we have a total of two terms. So write it as parentheses and with the negative outside here. Now, let's focus on case 1. Let's solve for x. Notice here that there is nothing in front of the parentheses, so nothing will change here, so we could just get rid of it. So that means just x plus 7. Let me bring that 2x minus 5 here. So to solve for x, let's first move the 5 into the other side, okay? Let's do that in order to keep this term with x in the left side. So I'm gonna have plus 5 and plus 5 here. Why plus 5? Because this 5 is negative or is subtracting. So to move it to the other side is going to be the opposite of subtracting, which is adding. So negative 5 and positive 5 cancels. So I'm left out with 2x equals, now here, this 7 is like term with this 5. Okay, so these two are going to combine. This 5 is not like term with x, only with 7. So I'm going to have bring down the x, and 7 plus 5 will be positive 12. Now, I have 2x equals x plus 12. How do we solve for x here? Let's combine the x together. I have this x here and this x here. So I could bring this x to the other side to combine with these 2x. So notice that there is nothing here in front of x, so that's automatically positive. So to move it to the other side is going to be the opposite, which is minus x. So this x minus x cancel. In the right side, I'm left with 12. In the left side, I could combine 2x and negative x. This negative x is like if I have negative 1x. So 2x minus 1x, simply 1x or just x. So we already solved. X equals 12. That's my first solution. Now, let's go into case number 2. The process will be very similar to case 1, except we have a negative in front of a parenthesis here. That means that we're going to distribute the negative into the two terms inside the parenthesis. This negative and parenthesis means multiply. So I'm going to have negative times x, that will be minus x. Remember, negative times positive, it's a negative. And then negative multiplied by positive 7, that will give me minus 7. And in the left side, just bring that 2x minus 5. Next step, same process as in case 1. So first thing, let's move the 5 to the other side. This 5 is going to combine with negative 7 because they both are like terms. So negative 5, positive 5 cancels. And I'm left out with 2x equals minus x Now, negative 7 plus 5, 1 negative, 1 positive, subtract, and keep the sign of the bigger number. So 7 minus 5, that is 2, and 7 happens to be the biggest one, which is negative, so it will be minus 2. Now, let's combine the x's. I have minus x here and 2x here. In order to combine them, they both need to be in the same side. So I could move the negative x to the other side. But in this case, we have negative x. So the opposite of minus x will be plus x to both sides. So negative x plus x cancels. And in the right side, I'm left with negative 2. And here, I have 2x plus x or 2x plus 1x. That will give me 3x. Now, solving for x, I need to get rid of this 3 that is multiplying x. So to get rid of something that is multiplying, I do the opposite, which is divide. So I divide by 3 both sides. And it's positive 3, positive 3, positive 3. If this were negative, I have to divide by negative 3 both sides here. But in this case, I have 3 positive, so divide by positive 3 both sides. So this 3 cancels. I'm left with x equals minus 2 over 3. And you cannot simplify these two numbers because they are not factors of each other. So that will be another solution. So my two solutions is going to be x equals 12 and x equals minus 2 over 3.